Crescent City Steakhouse, a true neighborhood restaurant operated by the Vojkovic family since 1934, is the oldest steakhouse in the city of New Orleans. Serving only hand-cut, prime-aged, corn-fed beef for over 80 years, Crescent City Steakhouse has become a dining destination for both die-hard locals and adventurous travelers who seek traditional, timeless New Orleans cuisine. Crescent City Steakhouse, 1001 North Broad, on the corner of St. Philip, in the heart of New Orleans.
Hey, don't forget my pimento cheese. Of course.
It's okay, I'll take it from here.
Hey, the guy get a seat!
For the love of palmetto cheese.
So here's the bottom line. Well, it's funny that you say that. Let me tell you. Good evening and welcome to Primetime Sports. Hey, I'm your host, Scott Alexander. Lots of good things going on in the Crescent City. You know the football season's about winding down. The Super Bowl's next week, but so much going on with the Pelicans and Zion Williamson back and LSU basketball and their great run. We're going to have John Brady, our basketball analyst. He comes once a month. We're going to talk about this great LSU run and how they're doing it in basketball. And I've got a very special guest. His name is Frank Duffy, and he's been to just about every Saints and LSU game this year. He's going to tell us all about that journey right here on Primetime Sports.
Make no mistake about it, life's more fun with seafood.
Oysters don't swim.
They do in butter.
What'd you get? A little bit of everything to make everyone happy.
Acme Oyster House. Life really is more fun with seafood.
Rock and roll will never die. It's old New Orleans, my oh my. Come on, baby, let's go rock and roll at the city lane. All night, let's roll, let's rock and roll. Baby, do the rock and roll. At the mid-city lanes, the home of rock and roll.
Handling a gator like this can be scary, and this is pretty risky too. But do you know what's really dangerous? Dealing with the insurance company after your car wreck. If you've been injured, get a fighter. That's why you need to call me. I'm not afraid to handle them, and I'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. So if you've been hurt, hire a professional. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 1-800-653-9968.
Did you know that GMFS Mortgage is the largest independent mortgage company in Louisiana? Their 250 employees have helped over 79,000 customers make the dream of home ownership come true. They funded over $12.9 billion in loans right here in Southeast Louisiana. If you're ready to buy, build, or renovate a new home, or just need to refinance, call the company born and raised here, GMFS Mortgage.
Crescent City Steakhouse, a true neighborhood restaurant operated by the Vojkovic family since 1934, is the oldest steakhouse in the city of New Orleans. Serving only hand-cut, prime-aged, corn-fed beef for over 80 years, Crescent City Steakhouse has become a dining destination for both diehard locals and adventurous travelers who seek traditional, timeless New Orleans cuisine. Crescent City Steakhouse, 1001 North Broad, on the corner of St. Philip, in the heart of New Orleans.
Hey, don't forget my pimento cheese. Of course.
It's okay, I'll take it from here. Hey, can I get a seat?
For the love of palmetto cheese.
Primetime Sports with Scott Alexander is underwritten by Task Performance.
Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports. Hey, I told you this is going to be a fun show. You know it's in knee deep in basketball season. Well, you know who I have. Our basketball analyst, John Brady. We're going to get to my man Frank Duffy in a second because that is a great story you're going to want to hear, particularly if you're an LSU Tiger football fan and a New Orleans Saints football fan as well, because this man was on a journey. But right now, the man has done a journey through the Final Four, a few Sweet 16s, and he's done his duty on the basketball court as a coach, and now he's calling the games for the LSU Tigers, as you know. His name is John Brady. He's been here a couple dozen times over the last 3 years, and he is back. What is up, my friend?
I'm back. Oh, basketball, LSU basketball. You know, had a great football season, but LSU basketball is doing pretty good.
They're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people expected with Tremont Waters, Naj Reid gone, that this team might suffer a little bit, but they're playing as good a basketball as any, and they've won 6 in a row to start this season, 23 of their past 25, if you count the 16-2 season last year, and they had one to end the season against Mississippi State in 2018. But what do you think the success for this team? That's your first year. You were calling the games at 18. You remember that one?
Well, here's the success of this team. And I've always said that the difference in a successful season and a significant season is your ability to win close games. We've won 4 games in overtime this year. We won 4 last year in overtime. We've won 12 road games in the SEC, counting last year and this year. So to be able to do that and win those close games when you could have lost a couple along the way, that's the difference in this team. I've seen improvement in this team from the beginning of the season up until now. Javonte Smart has taken over the point guard from Waters last year. He's improved. He's gotten better at that. We're taking better care of the ball than we did first of the year. And to win the number of close games that Will Wade has won, never seen nothing like it. Coach Brown couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Will Wade set an LSU record by winning 12 straight SEC road games. Remarkable.
That is remarkable. Not even the great John Brady did that. How about Macomb, Mississippi? Nobody never could do that. By the way, I love it. Hey, my man, Will Wade, you bring him up because I want to talk about the team in a second. But obviously, we know he drifted through some shark-infested waters towards the end of last season. What's the difference you see in Will as a person and as a coach than before all the controversy?
Well, I think anytime you're in a situation long enough, you know, LSU and Baton Rouge and Louisiana in particular, it's some adjustment there. It's not like anywhere else in the country. So I think Will Wade's adapted to that. He's made a lot of friends, got a lot of support. He went through a little rough waters last year, but I always say this, you know, is a conversation a violation? And had you, in the 11 or 12 years I sat in that chair, had you taped every conversation I had with some guys,
you might not be sitting here, Coach. Let's be honest.
So I don't, I don't think anything was wrong unless NCAA comes in and says something about it or tries to make something about it. But right now, LSU's in good shape in basketball. The team's improving. It's playing well, and we've got a chance to win the SEC again.
I'll tell you 2 things that were key to your success: the lack of a camera phone being active, and Darryl Mitchell with that 3 to put you in the Sweet 16, and then the rest is history of the Final Four. But enough of that team. This team went to the Sweet 16 last year, and no one, I don't think anybody could say, hey, this team could have a chance to do that again. This team didn't have much height, not a lot of great shooting, but what they do have is a will to win. And then the games are close. It used to be you had to learn to win. And I remember early in Will Wade's career, he was losing close games. Last year they started winning them, but this year it's at another level. When the game's close, you almost know they're going to win now.
Well, that's what I feel calling the game. You know, you got Emmett Williams, who's a sophomore, played a lot of minutes. You got Darius Days played a lot of minutes last year as a freshman. Javonte Smart played a lot of minutes as a freshman. Then you have the ultimate leader in Skylar Mays.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he hits big shots. He keeps everybody on point during the course of the game. He's a good defender. I think he has a career in the NBA. But Skylar Mays is the key to that team. And I'll tell you, this team, opposed to last year's team that had the size, this year's team is holding opponents to 38% field goal shooting. They're a better defensive team than the team was a year ago. I had to throw that in.
Mays makes big shots, and I cannot lie. However, I love it. I knew defense. And go ahead and give me some rebounding. Defense and rebounding wins basketball games.
We're plus
right,
8 in the SEC in rebounding. You hold teams to a low field goal stat, and you out-rebound teams, and you take care of the ball. Regardless of the offense, you can make the game workable the last 5 or 6 minutes.
I mentioned the will to win, and a lot of that has to do with wanting to get it done and hustle to do so. And rebounding, particularly in the offensive end, is to me one of those big indicators of that. This team has been unbelievable on the offensive boards. I mean, Jimmy Dykes seems to have called a lot of the games on television, and that's the first thing he focuses on. He talks about this team will get the boards. You just got to make sure you make shots because they're going to out-rebound you, particularly in the offensive end. What is the secret to that success? Because they don't have the height.
Well, sometimes I think you recruit that as opposed to teach that. Sometimes guys who are offensive rebounding guys are innate about going to the board anyway. I don't think you recruit that you coach that as much as you recruit it. But Darius Days, Emmett Williams, and even Marlon Taylor, if you don't hit those guys every time the ball's shot, you're going to give up an offensive rebound in a critical situation, and that's what LSU has done last year and this year, particularly this year, being able to go get the offensive glass.
Coaches, I know when you coached, I think there were 16 SEC games at a time. You probably took them by quarters. I don't know. Let's just win 3 of these first 4 or whatever. Now I guess it's 18, so let's just go thirds. They're 6-0 in the first third. You can't get any better than that. You got 2 more thirds of the SEC season. What would be an acceptable finish for you right now for this Tiger team? Granted that they've won a lot of close games.
Well, I hate to put a limit on this year's team. I keep thinking we're going to lose a close game, but we hadn't yet. So I'm not going to put a limit by saying anything, but if this team was to win 14 league games, it'd be incredible with what we lost last year. Lost 3 pros now. Bigby Williams was the 3rd guy that made a pro team, or he's either in the G League now. So that's 3 outstanding players. We don't have a lot of depth. Charles Manning broke his foot. He's going to miss about 6 weeks now. So Will Wade has done a good job of making guys play extended minutes, even with 3 fouls. So you have to defend well without fouling with this year's team.
Give me a record, Coach. What is it going to be in the SEC?
I think we win 14 league games.
14-4. That's not bad. If you finish 8-4, that's pretty darn good. We'll take that.
We've already won 3 road games, so that puts us in an elite group already in the league.
What I love about you love to go to games. You're a basketball junkie. I am as well. UNO is struggling a little bit right now, but let's start where a team's doing very well, considering where they were last year. That's the Tulane Green Wave. Ron Hunter, I remember right when he got to town, we went and ate. We'll give Desi a plug, Little John Steakhouse. I need some business, Des. But anyway, but this guy has brought an energy to St. Charles Avenue over there on Ferret, Willow, all that area right there, and it's fun to go to a game now.
Well, he's done a great job of recruiting, getting some transfers, building the team. He's putting his stamp on the program this year. They've already had a couple of big road wins, which they hadn't done in about a year or so. He's enthusiastic. He brings attention, as you said. I like him. His personality is infectious. I think Tulane's going to do well with him as a head coach.
I do too. One more thing before we go. Zion Williamson. Funny because we watched the first half together over at another place. Can't give 2 plugs in one thing. But we both left at halftime. And I'll give 1 plug because I'm driving home and all of a sudden I'm hearing Ty Graffinini, who went from just kind of solemn to, oh my God, 3-pointer, it's alley-oop dunk. And I ended up stopping because I'm like, I don't know if I can get all the way home. I stopped at Yale College Inn because I saw some people cheering in the window.
I know. I was there last night. They told me you stopped in.
Okay. But the fact is that it was a blast, man. And just to watch those 17 minutes, that is one of the best 3 minutes and 17 points in 3 minutes that I've ever seen, certainly in anybody's debut in any sport.
Well, on top of all of that, I think Alvin Gentry has done a great job of handling all the controversy last year and bringing this team along to where it is this year. And when Zion gets back and they start playing extended minutes, I think this team's got a chance to make the playoffs.
A chance.
Yes.
If he doesn't get hurt, I think they're going to be in the playoffs. I just think that this team's going to get better and better. Portland's the one team you got to worry about, I believe, personally. John, it's always great.
My pleasure.
Hey, by the way, Great time in Texas yesterday. I know you enjoyed your time there at that steakhouse. I'll throw another one out, 3 Forks. But the fact is these Tigers are doing well, and thank you for what you do for this LSU team. And for that, I know you have all the dinner gift certificates you need, but task performance, you can't have enough of these in your drawer.
Nothing better than wearing this to a workout.
There's nothing, is it?
Nothing.
That's what I say, man. I don't even have to get people. I don't have to tell people to say. That's the truth. All right, John, I appreciate you very much. We'll see you again maybe towards the SEC tournament, all right?
Anytime.
All right, now we're going to have some real fun. No offense to John. He's fun. But now we're going to talk about a guy that went to just about every LSU football game this year, just about every New Orleans Saints football game this year, a true New Orleanian who's stuck in Atlanta, but now he's back here part-time, kind of like I was, but I made the full move. His name is Frank Duffy. He's coming up next right here on Primetime Sports.
Hey, don't forget my pimento cheese. Of course.
It's okay. I'll take it from here.
Hey, the guy get a seat.
For the love of palmetto cheese.
Did you know that GMFS Mortgage is the largest independent mortgage company in Louisiana? Their 250 employees have helped over 79,000 customers make the dream of home ownership come true. They funded over $12.9 billion in loans right here in Southeast Louisiana. If you're ready to buy, build, or renovate a new home, or just need to refinance, call the company born and raised here, GMFS Mortgage.
Rock and roll will never die. It's old New Orleans, my oh my. Come on, baby, let's go rock and roll at the city lane. All night, let's roll, let's rock and roll. Baby, do the rock and roll at the mid-city lanes, the home of rock and roll.
Make no mistake about it, life's more fun with seafood.
Oysters don't swim.
They do in butter.
What'd you get? A little bit of everything to make everyone happy.
Acme Oyster House. Life really is more fun with seafood.
Handling a gator like this can be scary, and this is pretty risky too. But do you know what's really dangerous? Dealing with the insurance company after your car wreck. If you've been injured, get a fighter. That's why you need to call me. I'm not afraid to handle them, and I'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. So if you've been hurt, hire a professional. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 1-800-653-9968.
Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports. I told you this was going to be a fun segment. You probably don't recognize the guy right next to me, but he is a true New Orleans Renaissance man who, like myself, he went over to enemy lines to Atlanta, and he still lives north of Atlanta part-time, but he is back here. He has a place in the French Quarter. He hangs out. But this is a guy that loves sports as much as I do, as much as any human being alive. He loves New Orleans, the city. He loves the fabric of being a New Orleanian. There's nothing like living somewhere else and being proud that you're from New Orleans, particularly when it's Atlanta. Here he is, Frank Edward Duffy.
What's up, brother?
How
Good
you doing,
seeing you,
brother?
man, as always.
I just realized your initials are Fed.
That's it.
F-E-D, huh?
Well, you and I go back a long way, man, a long way.
A long way. You're in between at Little Carrollton Presbyterian with my brother, who was 3 years older than you.
Yep.
You're 4 years older than me, although you look a lot younger. But that was a great times back in the day on Carrollton Avenue.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's kind of funny. I grew up a Tulane fan, now an LSU fan, but a Tulane fan, and I was a ball boy for the team back in the 70s. And so it was great just hanging out at Tulane Stadium, all my buddies. I got all my friends to be ball boys as well. And we just hung out, and being a young guy in uptown New Orleans was so much fun back then. You know, Archie had just hit town.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, the place. Pete was
Pistol
rocking.
Pete and Archie.
You know those $1.50 tickets from Shoetown to go on down and watch
Just talked
Pistol
about
Pete.
that last night.
Know?
I was talking to somebody about that.
Just a great time. But I tell you right now, I think we're living through the golden age of Tiger football right now.
There's
it's
no
not
doubt.
any better.
And this is why he's on the show. I got to say this one thing about Frank. I mean, he's been a fan. I mean, he travels. He's got an RV. We've been on many, many trips. We went to Indianapolis in an RV to see John Brady, who was just on in the Final Four back in 2006. We've gone to an NCAA tournament where we left Atlanta, came to New Orleans, watched 4 games, and drove back the same day.
A 28-hour excursion. We saw four games in the first round of the NCAA at the Smoothie King.
And I slept like Rip Van Winkle when I got home. I was like, staying up 28 hours is not easy. I didn't realize, and you're driving half that time.
A few coffee stops on the way back to Atlanta,
We even saw Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis. That's the year they won the Super Bowl. They were doing recruiting for free agency.
Entertaining a free agent out there
over at Lucy's.
At Lucy's.
More plugs on this show than ever before. That's an old client, too. No, but fact is, you like to get around, but this particular year was special.
It was.
You went to almost every LSU Tiger football game.
Correct.
Home road. You were all over the place. It was documented all over Facebook. You went to almost every New Orleans Saints football game. It's documented all over Facebook. Road games, you're getting drenched over there in Carolina, getting drenched in Tennessee.
That's right.
But you got a couple W's out of it.
That's right.
But the fact is, talk about just the reason you did this year, and tell me about the experience.
Well, you know, we all knew what a special year this was in the middle of it.
Right.
But I had a feeling, I went to the game in Austin, a buddy of mine and
First
I went.
game of the season,
Yeah,
Texas.
and we were sitting up there in the stands, and when it was the 3rd and 17 late in the game, I said, you know, I think we probably ought to run a draw here.
Right.
We'll get a little bit better room. We'll
Right.
punt, right? Well, all of a sudden, 20 yards, I think it was the Jamar Chase,
Yes.
over the middle. I was like, holy mackerel, this is a different animal we've ever seen before. And so it was that game that made me think, okay, we got a possibility here, right? Then you'd be shocked at the game that where I thought we had a probability maybe to win it all. It was the Vanderbilt game. I went up to Nashville, and I watched our offense just basically score at will. Now, our defense didn't play well that game, if you remember. Vanderbilt moved the ball on us. They scored on us. But it was that point where I realized I don't think any team can outscore us with our offense. We might give up points, and until Dave Aranda tightened things up after that Ole Miss game, we were giving up points. But that's when I thought there was a probability. But when I knew we were going to do this, was in Tuscaloosa.
Absolutely.
We made that road trip over to Tuscaloosa. And it was kind of funny. Kurt Sprang from WGNO interviewed me on my balcony before the game against Alabama, because I had been in 2011 in Tuscaloosa for the last win.
Right.
And I told him, I said on air, I said, we win this game, we win it all. I said, we're going in there with a confidence unseen before. And I even said on the interview that he aired, I go, we've traded in our 67 Chevy for a Ferrari. And it's an offense that Alabama's never seen. Well, not only did Alabama not seen it, Clemson and Ohio State, I knew we would have a shot at the final. If we made it into the playoffs, we were going to be able to take care of both
I got to
teams.
ask your feeling at halftime when LSU's winning 33-10. It was around that score, right? 33-14. It was around that, 3 touchdowns plus. I think it was 13. I know Alabama likes to say it was close, 46-41. They were never really in it, meaning like they had the ball to have a chance to take the lead. But the fact is, as an LSU fan that's seen the last 7 years of just heartache and pain with Alabama, to see that halftime lead and to see how dominant LSU was, what was your feeling?
Well, I will tell you. Let me fast forward it, and then I'll come back. The championship game the other night against Clemson, there was a lot of demons, a lot of spirits that were exercised in that building. That was tough.
Oh, my goodness,
that 2011 game. And you and I know, because we came in that weekend. We went to the Saints playoff game the 2 nights before. We were in the Dome. And I'll tell you what, man, LSU fans left that place rocked.
Was that January 9th, 2012?
Absolutely, man.
I remember it,
Absolutely. You know, for 7.5 years, this state psyche has been, you know.
It's been tough.
It's been tough, right? But when we went to Alabama, and I saw the ease in which we were scoring against them, and the fact that it was almost like we were toying with them in the second half. We let them come back. They came back and scored. And then Joe would take. But when my opinion, it truly was his Heisman moment. When he tucked the ball and ran, and then the swing pass out to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, when he trucked that Alabama linebacker and dragged that cornerback for 11 yards on a 3rd and 10. I was like, this team can do it. This team absolutely can do it. I think also it helped that we got Oklahoma in the draw, the first round of the playoffs. I think that was vital that we came in as the #1 team. But I told anybody who wanted to listen, after what I witnessed, and I live in Atlanta, so I got to see them destroy Georgia. Georgia wasn't even in at all. And when I watched that game against Oklahoma, I said, I don't care who we play. Because remember the game was later that night? So I don't care who we play. We're going to win this national championship.
Since LSU has won 3 since 2003, there's only one team that's won more. And that's Alabama, and they've won 5.
And can I tell you something?
In SEC championships, it's 6-5 in the 2000s.
Well, wait a minute.
It's much closer than people think.
I was just about to bring that up. Actually, the difference between our two programs is only 30 minutes of football. Because think about one thing. We were in that game at halftime in the Superdome in 2012, in January 2012.
By the way, it was only 6-0 with 20 seconds left to go in the half.
That's my point, right?
Yeah.
So really the difference is if you take away Alabama, which you can't do, but if you took away Alabama's national championship from that game, and you added it to LSU, we're even Steven.
And the crazy thing, by the way, this will surprise people. Alabama fans hate when I say this, but I just call facts. LSU's got a better winning percentage than Alabama in the 2000s.
Absolutely, we did.
I'm just throwing out. It's not by much. It's 774 to 769 because I do math.
The BCS and the College Football Playoff. Here's some great stats. LSU is in a national championship 1 out of every 4 years in the BCS and playoff era, and we've won a national championship every 5 years. Only second to Alabama, and if you want to add all sports, we're only second to them, New England Patriots, Boston Red Sox.
That's pretty amazing. Look at this. I'm learning facts here.
That's it.
And that's rare. Saints. I mean, listen, you were a ball boy at Tulane Stadium. We go back to that stadium. You were there when LSU got beat 14-0 by the Green Wave, and I was a Tulane fan then, so I was cheering.
I was too.
But early days of Saints, you grew up near campus.
I did.
The Saints played at Tulane Stadium, 80,000 seat stadium where 60 years of Sugar Bowls were. A few Super Bowls were played before they moved to the Dome. Experiences for the early days of the Saints and growing with that team.
What was so cool about going there, my uncle used to be in charge of the Nopsey buses that would leave Tulane and go down Claiborne and go disperse. So he was a lieutenant or something at the time. And so I would get my ticket. I'd get like some cheap ticket up in the south end zone, and he'd go, come on, Frank, come on down with me. And he would stand me right by the old bandstand. Remember in the northeast end zone of Tulane Stadium, they had the little jazz band area. So I sat there and watched incredible games. I was there for the Monday night game against the Pittsburgh Steelers when Bradshaw came in. I was there for when the Chiefs came in on also another Monday night.
Yep.
I still have Ed Podolak's red and yellow sweatbands because when they would come off, they'd hand it to you. But one of the greatest games that I ever witnessed, I'll tell you 2 quick ones.
Gotta be real quick, like real quick.
Besides the Saints, but 2 quick games was that LSU Tulane game, not the one in '73, which was awesome at 14-0, but it was that one in 1972 when they stood them up on the goal line.
Hey, I got to tell you, darn, I should have done this for a full half hour. Next time you're coming, because we got a lot of stories. Man. I know there's some old timers like us that want to hear some of these. I can't believe you haven't had a task. You live here now part-time in the French Quarter on Jackson Square. I guarantee you'll be calling me back for more of these.
I work out at the NOAC. I'll be using it today.
How New Orleans is he? NOAC. and we're going to give you 2 NOLA Gold tickets. That's Shays de la Shays, a restaurant right there, but on Maple between Carrollton and Broadway. I think you know that area well. Frank, I got to wrap it up, man. I love you. Appreciate you. This is a true New Orleanian. He's coming back home one day, but he does live here now part-time as well. We've got to thank the Redhead Tsunami, all the great people at Loyola University, including Albert DuPont, and, of course, Sonia Douay. I want to thank WWL and the CST, and we'll be back next week. We're going to talk more hoops, and we're going to get in maybe a little Super Bowl talk as well right here on Primetime Sports. Well, it's funny that you say that. Let me tell you.